All right. Shalom. All right, first and foremost, want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity. The water for what you do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and Shalom to y'all. All right, this is your brother Dabadad from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh, meaning he is, or he exists, or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior, or he is the deliverer. He saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now, you're a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You will not find black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible, so you need to know who you are according to the Bible. All right, because those in the Bible, all right, the Hebrew Israelites were granted the glory, the covenant of the glory, the covenant, salvation, all right, in the kingdom. If you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, what is a good possibility, you could be a Hebrew Israelite, all right? It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right? Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is a prince of the power. All right, so we're continuing on reading the accounts of our forefathers, starting off in 1 Kings chapter 19, and now verse 1. All right, so let's read the subtitle here. It says Elijah flees from Jezebel. All right, verse 1 says, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the God do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. All right, so goddamn Jezebel, you're gonna come against the prophet. You come against the prophets of the Lord, you come against the Lord. All right, so these demons, they're around today. These Jezebel demons, right? They're around today. You got these goddamn women, all right, who think they can they have some type of power. You don't have any power, all right? Men don't have any power, all right? But then women don't have any power even more so. What makes you think you come against a man of a man of the Lord? What's up with these weirdos, man? Right? It says it's crazy, man. It says, and when he saw that, he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time, and touched him, and said, arise and eat, because your journey is too great. The journey is too great for thee. And he arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Says Elijah at Horeb. And he came thither unto a cave, and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. And he said unto him, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Yahshai, power of hosts, God of hosts, God of armies, man. It says, for the Lord, Slaki, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain the prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out and stood in the entering end of the cave, and behold, there came a voice into him and said, What doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord Yahweh Shai, God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I, only I am left, and they seek my life to take it away. It says, and the Lord said unto him, Go, return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel. Let me see. It says, and Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abel Meholah, shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him. And this is the faith that we carry in the time that we're in now. Although it might seem like we outnumbered, right? There's a great saying that says, I'd rather be surrounded by 10 wolves than 100 sheep. You know? And why is that? Because the 10 wolves, the 100 sheep can't do anything. 1,000 sheep can't do anything. 10,000 sheep can't do anything. 1,000,000 sheep can't do anything. Why? Because 10 million sheep can't do anything. Why? Because sheep have no defense mechanism. Only thing they do is run or sit there and just be killed. It doesn't even matter. So if you even have one wolf, right? But 10 wolves is greater than 100 sheep. You know? Now, I'm not saying that you can't even compare. You can compare these people to sheep when it comes to going against the Lord, but not saying that in the flesh these people can't do harm. But you might think they can do harm in today's time, right? Because they got swords. Well, they got, a killing instrument such as a gun, nuclear missile. But the Lord said he has, basically you're good, whether you're outnumbered or not, right? Or out-resourced or not. You're really not outnumbered. You're really not out-resourced, right? There's many accounts where men of the Lord thought that was the end for them. And then boom, an angel appeared or 10,000, you know what I'm saying? Like all these chariots are in the skies, but the enemy can't see them, you know? Yeah, man, that's beautiful. It says, so he departed thence and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him. And he with the 12th, and Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. And he said unto him, Go back again, for what have I done to thee? And he returned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slew them and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose and went after Elijah and ministered unto him. So, second chapter. Let me see. Second chapter. Yeah, so we'll do this one in a little bit. Well, we can just finish with this one up in like a couple hours after I get my household together. Yeah, this is just so just take from this, I guess, the we're reading the accounts here, right? So we're reading the accounts. The accounts are important, right? So we're learning about our forefathers, but the history of our people, right? The history of our forefathers, the history of our culture, how we got here. You know what I'm saying? What characteristics we can take from our forefathers, the prophets, right? What characteristics can we take from our forefathers, the kings? What characteristics can we take? Hey, and what characteristics should we not take from our forefathers, some of the kings, right? All the different kings that were going off here in just this chapter alone, and how Israel, you so-called blacks, Native Americans, were just being wicked ass people. You see, so we're continuing to kind of read chapter by chapter, but there's within these chapters there's key points, right? So, and I would say it's verse. Let's see. Verse 18, it says, "Yet I have left me 7,000," which the word 7, the number 7 represents completion, man. Right? So that's a complete number. It says, "Yet I have left me in a complete number in Israel, all the knees, 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which hath not kissed him." So you're going to have men, all right, women and children, right, who are going to defy the powers that be today, which is Esau. And it's going to be, and you're going to, and where 2 or 3 are gathered, in the midst of where Yahweh Shai be, right? And also the angels campeth around them that believe, man. So you're gonna so even if it's just you versus the world, man, trust me, there's way more on Yahweh Shem Shai's side than it is on their side, man. Remember, Yahweh Shem Shai controls everything. Remember, so when you read Isaiah 45:7, it says he does all these things. He does all these things. You see, so there's nothing to be afraid of. That's the key point to take away in this chapter, is just that the Lord was with you even when all odds are against you. Whoo, that's the title. So Lord willing, you was edified. I want to end it off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Rachak Dash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great Milton, I rule well. Peace and blessings to hopeful elect, and shalom.